picking up where we left off last time. Things were looking pretty grim, weren't they?
They really were. You had King Kamsa, completely paranoid because of that prophecy.
Right, the one with the 8th child. So he locks up his own sister, Devaki, and her husband, Vasudeva.
Exactly, just waiting for that child to be born. The child foretold to, well, end his reign.
And our sources for this deep dive, they take us right into that prison cell, pretty much that exact moment.
Yeah, we're digging into what these ancient texts call the Midnight Miracle. It's all about the incredible events surrounding this birth.
And the escape, too. The escape from Mathura.
That's right. So the scene these sources describe, it's intense. We're talking midnight, the darkest hour.
And a massive storm raging outside.
Oh yeah, torrential rain, thunder, the works. And inside that horrible prison cell, something extraordinary is about to happen. Something that, according to these narratives, changes everything.
So our goal here is to unpack how this seemingly impossible thing actually happened based on these accounts.
Exactly. What were the, let's say, miraculous details that allowed the child to be born and spirited away safely?
Okay, let's get into that first big moment the sources describe. The divine birth. What actually happens right at midnight?
Well, according to these texts, it's precise. Bang on midnight, the 8th child arrives.
And it's not just a normal birth in a dark cell.
No, far from it. The descriptions say the cell is suddenly flooded with this intense, divine light. Like
the light came with the baby.
That's the sense you get. And this divine presence, it seems to affect the physical surroundings directly. The sources talk about the chains.
The ones binding Devaki and Vasudeva.
Yeah, those heavy chains, they supposedly just loosen, fall away on their own.
Wow. And the prison doors. Locked tight, presumably.
They swung open, just like that. And the guards, the ones Kamsa put there specifically to watch for this.
What happened to them?
The texts describe them falling into this deep, unnatural sleep, almost like they were enchanted, completely oblivious.
Enchanted sleep. That detail really suggests it wasn't just luck, but some kind of active intervention, clearing the path.
It definitely frames it that way. Like the normal rules were just suspended for a bit.
And the child itself, Krishna.
Yeah.
How did the sources describe him at that moment?
They emphasize he wasn't just an ordinary baby at first. He's described in a divine form, radiant, the celestial smile, eyes holding, profound depth.
And this is when Vishnu appears.
Correct. The sources say Vishnu manifests right there, confirming, this is the divine child, reminding Vasudeva about the prophecy, the purpose.
And gives them a very specific, very risky instruction.
Extremely risky. Take this child to Gokul, to the house of Nanda and Yashoda.
And swap him.
Swap him for their newborn daughter and bring her back. And crucially, Vishnu identifies that baby girl.
Who does he say she is?
He tells Vasudeva she is Maya, the goddess of illusion herself. And taking her back is key. He says all will be protected.
So Maya isn't just a concept here. She's an active player right from the start. Her presence is the protection, in a way.
Exactly. It sets up this idea of illusion as a vital part of the divine strategy.
Okay, so Vasudeva has his orders. The doors are open, guards are asleep, chains are off. This takes us to the Great Escape. How does he manage it, getting out into that storm?
Well, with the path clear, he lifts the baby Krishna, puts him gently into a basket.
Just walks out, past the guard.
Walks right past them. The sources almost make it sound like time itself bent to let him pass unnoticed.
But then he steps outside into that raging storm, and there's the Yamuna River.
Right, a major obstacle. The texts make a point of saying it's overflowing, really dangerous because of the rain.
But not for Vasudeva, apparently.
No. As he steps into the water, another miracle happens. The river, it parts. The sources say the water's literally divided, creating a path.
And the waves calm down.
Instantly calmed right around him. And then you get that incredible image, Sheshnag.
Ah, the divine serpent.
Yes, Sheshnag, the king of serpents. The accounts describe him rising up from the calmed water.
And spreading his hoods like an umbrella.
Exactly. Like a huge living canopy over Vasudeva and the basket, shielding baby Krishna from the downpour.
It's such a powerful visual. It really drives home the idea that nature itself was in on this, protecting him.
That's certainly how the sources portray it. Nature actively participating.
So with this divine help, Vasudeva makes it across the Yamuna and gets to Gokul.
He finds Nanda and Yashoda's house. According to the text, Yashoda had just given birth to a baby girl herself.
And she's asleep, unaware.
Deep asleep, exhausted from childbirth. So Vasudeva, just following Vishnu's instructions, carefully places Krishna beside her.
And takes a baby girl.
And takes the baby girl, Maya, back with him. A silent exchange in the middle of the night.
And when he gets back to the prison cell in Mathura,
It's like reversing the film. The doors swing shut behind him, locking themselves.
the chains reappear
The chains are back on him and Devaki. And the guards, they wake up.
with no memory of anything.
None whatsoever, as if nothing happened. The escape, according to the text, was seamless, completely undetected.
Which sets things up perfectly for the next phase,
Hmm.
the power of Maya. Because Kamsa eventually hears the news, right? That the 8th child was born in the prison.
Oh, yes. And he's driven by that fear, that prophecy. He rushes straight to the cell,
To kill the child?
absolutely determined. And of course, he finds the baby girl Vasudeva brought back.
And he tries to kill her.
He grabs her, intending to dash her against the stone. A brutal image in the sources.
But she's not just a helpless infant.
No. According to these accounts, just as he tries to harm her, she slips right out of his hand,
Slips out. And then what?
rises up into the air, and transforms. Right there in front of him,
Into her true form.
into her divine form, the goddess Maya.
Wow. And she speaks to him.
She does, and she delivers this absolutely chilling message. Basically, you fool Kamsa,
The one destined to destroy you
the one destined to destroy you.
has already been born. And he's somewhere else.
Imagine hearing that directly from a goddess right after you thought you'd finally beaten the prophecy. It must have been terrifying, and it really highlights Maya's role. She wasn't just a decoy.
No, she's an active force. She draws Kamsa's violence, survives it through her divine nature, and then uses that moment to reveal the truth.
While simultaneously protecting Krishna's actual location. It shows how illusion in these narratives is used strategically as a shield and a messenger.
So the divine protection was multi-layered physical miracles,
Yeah.
but also this element of, well, divine illusion.
Precisely. Which brings us to the outcome of this whole midnight miracle, according to the sources.
Krishna is safe.
Krishna, described as the supreme being taking human form, has successfully passed that first incredibly dangerous hurdle. He's now safe and sound in Gokul.
Beginning his earthly life hidden away under the care of Nanda and Yashoda.
Completely unknown to Kamsa, living this simple pastoral life for now.
It really is an amazing sequence the sources describe. The light, the chains falling, the doors opening,
The sleeping guards, the river parting, Sheshnag's protection.
and then Maya's intervention right at the end.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot.
It really feels, reading these accounts, like every force imaginable conspired to make it happen. It speaks volumes about that concept of divine Leela, doesn't it?
Divine play or cosmic will unfolding. Not just random chance, but an intricate plan.
Exactly. Destiny being enacted through these quite spectacular events.
And now Krishna's in Gokul. His childhood, which the sources say is full of its own magic and mischief, is about to begin.
Which leads to a really interesting thought to leave you with, doesn't it? Think about the role illusion Maya played here.
Right. It wasn't used to deceive maliciously, but as protection, as a divine tool.
So what might that suggest, according to these texts, about perceived reality itself? How it can be maybe shaped or used for divine purposes? How does that idea sit with you personally?
That's definitely something to chew on. And next time we'll dive into those early years in Gokul, the playful side of Krishna, and the miracles that continued.